Okay, welcome back for the third episode of our math lessons. Today, let us look at some rules we use in simplification of surds. We have around 5 rules, some of which we have already looked at, and we shall look at some new. Rule number 1 says if I have a root c plus b root c, then I'll add the coefficients of the roots, that is a plus b times root c. Similarly, this is the same as taking out the common factor. So in this, the common factor is root c. So if you take out the common factor, which is root c, then you remain with a plus b in bracket, giving us a plus b root c. The same applies for subtraction. Still, we shall take the common factor out, which is root c, and we remain with a minus b in the bracket. Then in rule number 3, if we are multiplying two roots but with the same figure in the bracket, that is the same as the square root of that figure squared. For instance, here we are told that a root a times root a, that gives us root a squared, and the square now cancels with the square root, so you end up with a. For instance, if we had root 3 times root 3, that gives us root 3 squared, and we cancel the square with the square root to remain with 3. Let's go to number 4. Rule number 4 says if I have two figures under the root which are multiplying each other, then probably I could separate them. For instance, we are given root ab, whereby L is multiplying b. So root ab is the same as root a times root b. The last rule says that if I'm dividing, if I have a fraction under the root, probably it could be an improper or a proper fraction, but not mixed this time. So that means that if I'm given a mixed fraction, then I'll probably change it to improper, where we have a numerator and a denominator. So if we have a fraction under the root, then we consider the root of the numerator separately and the denominator separately. That is to say, root of a over b becomes root a over root b. So we separate the roots. Those are our 5 laws we are going to be using while simplifying surds. However, we are told to note that root a plus or minus root b is not the same. Yes, the subtraction or the addition of two different roots is not the same as the subtraction or addition of the numbers under the root. It is not the same. So that means that it worked in multiplication and ended there. If you have root a plus root b, should not be the same as root of a plus b. No. The same applies to subtraction. If we are subtracting or adding two different roots, we should not bring the figures in a common root. For instance, if we have root 9 plus 16 but and a common bracket, that gives us root of 25, which is 5. However, this is not the same as root 9 plus root 16. The other one is different because in the first one 9 and 16 were under common root, but in this second one they are having different roots, so they are not the same, and therefore we shall work out them separately. For instance, root 9 is a 3, root 16 is 4, and when you add the two, you get 7, not 5, as we've seen. So we must note that. Otherwise, I wish you the best as you try out the exercise below. For any inquiries, please, you can always reach me by commenting and you will be probably answered. Thank you. Let's meet in our next episode.